Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Little Theatre, may I say how pleased we are to be a part of this year's HLF and would like to bring to you a homage to Girish Karnad. Through our readings from excerpts of his plays, we hope to give you a small peek into the mind of this genius. One person we miss at this reading is Vijay Marur, who used to be with us at all our readings earlier, and we can't start a reading without a thought for him. So, we will now, without much ado, start. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the invocation which started off Hayavadana. And today this is taken as the theatre invocation in Karnataka and is played at the beginning of most plays that are performed anywhere in Karnataka. Right, so we start with a reading from Hayavadana. Our duty is merely to pay homage to the elephant-headed god and get on with our play. This is the city of Dharmapura, ruled by King Dharmashila, whose fame and empire have already reached the ends of the 8 directions. 2 youths who dwell in the city are our heroes. One is Devadatta, comely in appearance, fair in color, unrivaled in intelligence. Devadatta is the only son of the revered Brahmin Vidyasagara. Having felled the mightiest pundits of the kingdom in debates on logic and love, having blinded the greatest poets of the world with his poetry and wit, Devadatta is, as it were, the apple of every eye in Dharmapura. The other youth is Kapila. He is the only son of the ironsmith Lohita, who is to the king's armory as an axle to the chariot wheel. He is dark and plain to look at, yet in deeds which require drive and daring, in dancing, in strength, and in physical skills, he has no equal.
A scream of terror is heard off stage. The Bhagavata frowns, quickly looks in the direction of the scream, then carries on.
The world wonders at their friendship. The world sees these 2 young men wandering down the streets of Dharmapura hand in hand and remembers Lava and Kusha, Rama and Lakshmana, Krishna and Balrama. 2 friends they were, one mind, one heart.
The scream is heard again. The Bhagavata cannot ignore it anymore.
Who could that be? Creating a disturbance at the very outset of our play? Oh, it's Nata, our actor, and he's running. What could have happened, I wonder?
The actor comes running in, trembling with fear. He rushes onto the stage, runs round the stage once, then sees the Bhagavata and grabs him.
Sir, Bhagavata, sir.
Cha-cha-cha. What's this? What's this?
Sir, oh my God, God.
Let me go, I tell you. Let go of me. Now, what's this?
Oh God.
Let me go. What nonsense is this? What do you mean by all this shouting and screaming in front of our audience? How dare you disturb
Please, I'm sorry, but...
Now. Calm down. There's nothing to be afraid of here. I am here. The musicians are here. And there is our large-hearted audience. It may be that they fall asleep during a play sometimes, but they're ever alert when someone is in trouble. Now tell us, what's the matter?
Oh, my heart, it's going to burst.
Sit down. Sit. Right. Now tell me everything quietly, slowly.
I was on my way here. I was already late. I didn't want to annoy you. So I was hurrying down when... Oh,
Covers
Yes,
his face
yes.
with his hands.
Yes. You were hurrying down. Then?
I'm shivering. On the way, you see, I had drunk a lot of water this morning. My stomach was full. So to relieve myself,
Watch what you're saying. Remember, you're on the stage.
I didn't do anything. I only wanted to. So I sat by the side of the road and was about to pull up my dhoti when
Yes?
a voice, a deep, thick voice, it said,
Hey, you there. Don't you know you're not supposed to commit nuisance on the main road?
Quite right to. You should have known that much.
I half got up and looked around. Not a man in sight. No one. So I was about to sit down again when the same voice said,
Yes?
You irresponsible fellow, you. Can't you understand you're not to commit nuisance on the main road?
I looked up, and there, right in front of me, across the fence,
Who was there?
a horse.
What?
A horse, and it was talking.
What did you have to drink this morning?
Nothing. I swear, Bhagavata, sir, I haven't been near a toddy shop for the whole week. I didn't even have milk today.
Perhaps your liver is sensitive to water.
Please, believe me, I saw it clearly. It was a horse, and it was talking.
It's no use continuing this nuisance. So, you saw a talking horse. Good. Now go and get made up.
Made up? I fall to your feet, sir. I can't.
Now, look here.
Please, sir.
He holds up his hand. It's trembling.
You see, sir, how can I hold up a sword with this? How can I fight?
Well then, there's only one solution left. You go back.
Back?
Back to that fence, have another look, and make sure for yourself that whoever was talking, it couldn't have been that horse.
No,
Nata,
I can't.
it's an order.
Must I?
Yes, you must.
Sir.
Two friends they were, one mind, one heart. Are you still there?
The actor goes out looking at the Bhagavata, hoping for a last-minute reprieve. It doesn't come.
Poor boy. God alone knows what he saw and what he took it to be. There's truth for you. Pure illusion. Two friends they were, one mind, one heart.
A scream in the wings. The actor comes rushing in.
Now look here.
It's coming. Coming.
What's coming?
Him. He's coming.
Him, it, what? What's coming? Whatever or whoever it is, the actor has obviously been frightened by its sight. If even a hardened actor like him gets frightened, it's more than likely that our gentle audience may be affected too. It's not proper to let such a sight walk on the stage unchallenged. Hold up the entry curtain.
Two stage hands enter and hold up a half curtain, about 6 feet in height, the sort of curtain used in Yakshagana or Kathakali. The curtain masks the entry of Hayavadana, who comes and stands behind it.
Who's that?
No reply. Only the sound of someone sobbing behind the curtains.
How strange. Someone sobbing behind the curtain. It looks as though the terror which frightened our actor is itself now crying. Lower the curtain.
The curtain is lowered by about a foot. One sees Hayavadana's head, which is covered by a veil. At a sign from the Bhagavata, one of the stage hands removes the veil, revealing a horse's head. For a while, the horse head doesn't realize that it is exposed to the gaze of the audience. The moment the realization dawns, the head ducks behind the curtain.
A horse? No, it can't be.
He makes a sign. The curtain is lowered a little more, just enough to show the head again. Again it ducks. Again, the curtain is lowered. This goes on till the curtain is lowered right down to the floor. Hayavadana, who has a man's body but a horse's head, is sitting on the floor, hiding his head between his knees.
Incredible. Unbelievable. We continue the reading, ladies and gentlemen, with another piece from Hayavadana, somewhat lower down in the play.
Where are they? Now Kapila's disappeared too. He couldn't still be searching for him. That's not possible. Devadatta's too weak to have gone far. They must have met. Perhaps they're sitting now chatting as in the old days. For once, no bother of a wife around. No. More likely Devadatta's sulking. He's probably tearing poor Kapila to shreds by just being silent and grumpy. Yes, that would be more like him. It's almost dark, and they aren't back. Shameless men to leave me alone like this here. No, it's no use sitting here any longer. I had better go and look for them. If I die of a snake bite on the way, serve them right. Or perhaps, so much the better for them.
Walks to the temple slowly, rubs her eyes when she reaches there.
How dark it is. Can't see a thing. Kapila? Kapila! Devadatta isn't here either. What shall I do? At this time of the night, alone? What's that? Some wild beast, a hyena. It's right outside. What shall I do if it comes in? It's gone. Mother Kali, only you can protect me now.
Stumbles over the bodies.
What's this? What's this?
Stares at the bodies and then,
Oh God, what's this? Both gone. And didn't even think of me before they went. What shall I do? What shall I do? Oh, Devadatta, what did I do that you left me alone in this state? Was that how much you loved me? And you, Kapila, who looked at me with dog's eyes, you too? How selfish you are, you men, and how thoughtless. What shall I do now? Where shall I go? How can I go home? Home? And what shall I say when I get there? What shall I say happened? And who'll believe me? They'll all say the two fought and died for this whore. They're bound to say it. Then what'll happen to me? No, Mother Kali, no, it's too horrible to think of. No, Kapila's gone, Devadatta's gone. Let me go with them.
picks up the sword.
I don't have the strength to hack off my head. But what does it matter how I die, Mother? You don't care. It's the same to you. Another offering. All right, have it then. Here's another offering for you.
Lifts the sword and puts its point on her breast when from behind the curtain, the goddess's voice is heard.
Hey, put it down. Put down that sword.
Padmini jumps up in fright and throwing the sword aside, tries to run out of the temple, then stops.
Who's that? Who's that?
A tremendous noise of drums. Padmini shuts her eyes in terror. Behind the curtain, one sees the uplifted, blood-red palms of the goddess. The curtain is lowered and taken away, and one sees a terrifying figure, her arms stretched out, her mouth wide open with the tongue lolling out. The drums stop, and as the goddess drops her arms and shuts her mouth, it becomes clear she has been yawning.
All right. Open your eyes and be quick. Don't waste time.
Padmini opens her eyes and sees the goddess. She runs and falls at her feet.
Mother, Kali.
Yes, it's me. There was a time many years ago when at this hour they would have the Mangalharati. The devotees would make a deafening racket with drums and conch shells and cymbals. So I used to be wide awake around now. I've lost the habit. Right. What do you want? Tell me. I'm pleased with you.
Save me, Mother.
I know I've done that already.
Do you call this saving, Mother of all nature? I can't show my face to anyone in the world. I can't.
Yes, you've said that once. No need to repeat yourself. Now do as I tell you. Put these heads back properly, attach them to their bodies, and then press that sword on their necks. They'll come up alive. Is that enough?
Mother, you are our breath. You are our bread and water.
Skip it. Do as I told you. And quickly. I'm collapsing with sleep.
May I ask a question?
If it's not too long.
Can there ever be anything you don't already know, Mother? The past, the future are mere specks in your palm. Then why didn't you stop Devadatta when he came here? Why didn't you stop Kapila? If you'd saved either of them, I would have been spared all this terror, this agony. Why did you wait so long?
Is that all you can think of now?
Mother,
I've never seen anyone like you.
how could one possibly hide anything from you, Mother?
That's true enough.
Then why didn't you stop them?
Actually, if it hadn't been that I was so sleepy, I would have thrown them out by the scruff of their necks.
But why?
Only you spoke the truth.
It's all your grace, Mother.
Don't drag me into it. I had nothing to do with it. You spoke the truth because you're selfish. That's all. Now don't go on. Do what I tell you and shut your eyes.
Yes, Mother.
Eagerly, Padmini attaches the severed heads to the bodies of the men. But in her excitement, she mixes them up so that Devadatta's head goes to Kapila's body and vice versa. Then presses the sword on their necks, does namaskara to the goddess, walks downstage and stands with her back to the goddess, her eyes shut tight.
I'm ready, Mother.
My dear daughter, there should be a limit even to honesty. Anyway, so be it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now go on to read an excerpt from Tughlaq.
AD 1327. The yard in front of the Chief Court of Justice in Delhi. A crowd of citizens, mostly Muslims, with a few Hindus here and there.
God, what's this country coming to?
What are you worried about, grandfather? The country's in perfectly safe hands. Safer than any you've seen before.
I don't know. I've been alive a long time, seen many sultans, but I never thought I'd live to see a thing like this.
Your days are over, old man. What's the use of sultans who didn't allow a subject within a mile's distance? This king now, he isn't afraid to be human.
But does he have to make such a fuss about being human? Announce his mistakes to the whole world? Invite the entire capital?
And get kicked by an infidel too. It's an insult to Islam.
That's good, that. Insult to Islam? So you want to teach him Islam now, do you? Tell me, how often did you pray before he came to the throne?
That isn't the point.
That's precisely the point. Not even once a week, I bet. Now you pray 5 times a day because that's the law. And if you break it, you'll have the officers on your neck. Can you mention one earlier sultan in whose time people read the Quran in the street like they do now? Just one?
What's the use? One must act according to it.
All this about the Hindus not paying the jizya tax, that's against the Quran, you know. A Maulvi told me that.
Now, don't look at me when you say that. We didn't want an exemption. Look, when a sultan kicks me in the teeth and says, "Pay up, you Hindu dog," I'm happy. I know I'm safe. But the moment a man comes along and says, "I know you're a Hindu, but you're also a human being," well, that makes me nervous.
Ungrateful wretch!
But this wretch is our best friend, Jamal. Beware of the Hindu who embraces you. Before you know what, he'll turn Islam into another caste and call the Prophet an incarnation of his God.
Attention, attention! In the name of Allah, it is hereby announced that Vishnu Prasad, a Brahmin of Shiknar, had filed a suit against His Merciful Majesty that his land had been seized illegally by the officers of the state and that he should be given just compensation for the loss of the land and the privation resulting therefrom. The Qazi-e-Mumalik have considered this matter carefully and in full detail has declared that the Brahmin's claim is just. That the Brahmin's claim is just and that His Merciful Majesty is guilty of illegal appropriation of land. The Qazi-e-Mumalik has further declared that in return for the land and in compensation of the privation resulting from its loss, the said Vishnu Prasad should receive a grant of 500 silver dinars from the state treasury. That's too much. His Merciful Majesty has accepted the decision of the Qazi-e-Mumalik as just, and in addition to the grant of 500 silver dinars, has offered the said Vishnu Prasad a post in the civil service to ensure him a regular and adequate income.
What folly is this? May heaven guide our Sultan.
I don't believe a word of it. There's something more to this. That much is obvious.
Attention, attention! The warrior of the path of God, the defender of the word of the Prophet, may peace be upon him, the friend of the Caliph, the just, His Merciful Majesty, Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq.
Victory to the king!
My beloved people, you have heard the judgment of the Qazi and seen for yourselves how justice works in my kingdom, without any consideration of might or weakness, religion or creed. May this moment burn bright and light up our path towards greater justice, equality, progress, and peace. Not just peace, but a more purposeful life. And to achieve this end, I am taking a new step in which I hope I shall have your support and cooperation. Later this year, the capital of my empire will be moved from Delhi to Daulatabad. Your surprise is natural. But I beg you to realize that this is no mad whim of a tyrant. My ministers and I took this decision after careful thought and discussion. My empire is large now and embraces the south, and I need a capital which is at its heart. Delhi is too near the border, and as you well know, its peace is never free from the fear of invaders. But for me, the most important factor is that Daulatabad is a city of the Hindus. And as a capital, it will symbolize the bond between Muslims and Hindus, which I wish to develop and strengthen in my kingdom. I invite you all to accompany me to Daulatabad. This is only an invitation, not an order. Only those who have faith in me may come with me. With their help, I shall build an empire which will be the envy of the world.
We now go on to an excerpt from the dreams of Tipu Sultan.
Tipu moves to his bedchamber, sees the mattress spread out on the bed.
Chamberlain,
Your Majesty?
remove the bed from my bedchamber. While my sons are in foreign hands, I shall sleep on the bare stone floor.
Tipu undresses, sits on the stone floor. He takes out a string of beads and starts reciting a Sufi zikr, incantation, to himself. He begins to sway as in a trance. He sways more and more violently as the lights darken. A voice calls out to him softly in the dark.
Tipu, Tipu.
Who's that? Is that you, Father?
Yes, it's me, Hyder.
Lights come on slowly to reveal a spectral landscape. Tipu looks around frantically.
Where are you, Father?
Here under this tree,
Under this? Father, why are you lying there? What's happened to you?
I'm maimed, Tipu. I have no limbs.
But you never lost any limb.
You have maimed me, Tipu. You have cut off my limbs and handed them over to the enemy.
Yes, Father, I've done that. Have you come to punish me?
What punishment would be adequate, do you think?
I don't know, Father. You remember, once I messed up your campaign and you gave me a lashing, almost skinned me alive. My body still bears those welts, such scars that I'm ashamed to undress in front of anyone. This crime is much worse than that.
I can't do that now. I have no arms.
Shall I lash myself for you?
He starts whipping himself.
No melodrama, I pray you. No hysterics, please. You've gone soft. You spend too much time with your account books.
You spent your life on horseback making conquests. I have to consolidate your gains. That can't be done on horseback. The English are stronger now.
And whose fault is it?
I hate them, and they return the compliment.
Then why did you let Cornwallis escape? When he was retreating from Seringapatam in shame and desperation, your Amirs and Khans begged you to attack. You stood on the ramparts and did nothing.
I was paralyzed.
You let Cornwallis go.
You would have made mincemeat of him, I know. But I vacillated.
You're scared of them.
No, I'm not. If I was scared, I would have ordered a slaughter. But Father, often, suddenly, I see myself in them. I see these white skins swarming all over the land, and I wonder what makes them so relentless, desperate. Most of them are no older than Fath Hyder. What drives these young lads to such distant lands through fever, dysentery, alcohol, so often death, wave after wave? They don't give up. Nor would I. Sometimes I feel more confident of them than my own people. What makes them so unsparing towards themselves? Is it only money?
You're beginning to think like a trader.
No, if it was only for money, they would betray each other. But there's never any treachery against their own kind, no backstabbing. They believe in the destiny of their race. Why can't we? When our fort was besieged by Cornwallis, I knew several of my officers had already started secret negotiations with him. I even knew who they were, my trusted officers. Yet I couldn't expose them without bringing the whole edifice down. I had to keep saying they were the true pillars of my kingdom, that I depended on their loyalty to me and my family and hope for the best. Hope that when the moment came, they wouldn't stab me in the back. But the English fight for something called England. What is it? It's not a religion that sustains them, nor a land that feeds them. They wouldn't be here if it did. It's just a dream for which they're willing to kill and die. Children of England, they've conquered our land, plundered its riches, and now they've started taking away our children. Mine. I will not let them, Father. I'll restore your limbs. Father, where are you? Father, Father, come back. That was from the Dreams of Tipu Sultan. We now go on to an excerpt from The Fire and the Rain.
Melodious music. The sunlight becomes soft and gentle. The entire atmosphere gets an ethereal hue. The voice of Indra is heard from the skies.
Aravasu's son, do not grieve. We are pleased with you. Ask for any boon, and it shall be granted.
Who's that? Who is that?
I am Indra, the Lord of gods. Know that all the gods are pleased with you.
Indra? But what do I have to do with Indra? I didn't seek Indra or any other god. Yavakri did. Paravasu did. I seek only death. Why are you here?
You question the gods. Other mortals would be happy to receive.
But what have I done to deserve this visit?
We loved the way you challenged Indra and then pursued him in the play. But it could also be because of Paravasu's sacrifice or Nithilai's humanity. You humans are free to construe the acts of gods as you wish. The point is, we are here and you can ask for anything you want.
Lord Indra, I want Nithilai back. Alive. That's all I want in my life. Grant me that. Nithilai. My gentle Nithilai. I killed her. I want her back.
It's no great matter to bring Nithilai back to life. But once the wheel of time starts rolling back, there's no saying where it'll stop. Along with Nithilai, others too may return to life. Your brother Paravasu, your father, even Yavakri.
Yes, let them.
Strange music fills the air. The souls of Nithilai, Paravasu, Raibhiya, Yavakri, Andhaka, as well as a host of other dead people enter the stage silently and come close to Aravasu. He looks at them and calls out,
Nithilai, Nithilai, brother, father, and who are all these others, Lord?
Those who died all over the earth at the same time as your family. If the wheel of time rolls back, they come back to life too.
Yes, let the world be as it was.
But then, won't the entire tragedy repeat itself, Aravasu? How will it help anyone to go through all that suffering again?
No, it won't, Lord. I've been a benighted creature all my life. My blindness contributed to that tragedy, fueled it on. But after all that I've been through, I'm wiser. I can now stop the tragedy from repeating itself. I can provide the missing sense to our lives.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
Well then,
it is the voice of the Brahma Rakshasa.
Aravasu,
Who's that?
it's me, the Brahma Rakshasa. Your father invoked me. He ordered me to kill Yavakri and I did. I have done my duty and now I wander lost in torment. Help me, Aravasu.
What do you want?
I want release. release from this bondage. Your father gave me this life. We are brothers. So you must complete what your father couldn't. I want to melt away. I want peace, eternal peace. I beg of you, intercede on my behalf with the gods.
Lord Indra, you heard that. Could you?
Aravasu, the wheel of time must roll back if Nithilai is to return to life. It must roll forward for the Brahma Rakshasa to be released. You can't have it both ways. Choose.
You see, there's nothing I can do.
You can, Aravasu, you can. Don't abandon me.
There is another consideration, Aravasu. Not even the gods can guarantee a soul the ultimate release. That is a law beyond us. I may grant his release from birth and death because you ask for it. But there is every chance that it may not work. In that case, his situation will remain unchanged and you will lose Nithilai.
You heard that, Brahma Rakshasa. So forgive me.
I don't forgive. I can't. But you are a human being. You're capable of mercy. You can understand pain and suffering as the gods can't.
I don't want to listen to you. Go away. Go away.
And when Nithilai comes back, what will you tell her? Will you tell her that because of her, a soul writhes in
Shut
pain?
up. She's not at fault.
Nithilai came to help you because she cared for you. She would have cared for me, wept at the thought of my endless life in death. If you bring her back, you will have destroyed what made her such a beautiful person.
That's not true.
Remember, Aravasu, if Nithilai lives again, she'll live a life of as tormented as mine. Tormented by the knowledge that her resurrection condemned me beyond salvation. And every moment of her life she'll hear my screams. What you're asking for is not a boon. You're asking Indra to condemn Nithilai to a hellhole much worse than the one I'm in. Think, Aravasu, you're wiser now.
Aravasu is silent. The souls make a strange moaning noise.
Aravasu, have you decided?
Lord Indra,
Yes.
grant this Brahma Rakshasa his release. Let him go.
You are sure you want that?
Nithilai would have wanted it so.
Well then, so be it.
The crowd of souls gives a long, mournful sigh of disappointment and begins to withdraw. Nithilai's soul too goes away with them.
Nithilai.
She sits down and clutches Nithilai's corpse. The Brahma Rakshasa waits impatiently, but nothing happens. He looks around baffled, scared. The world seems to stand still. The crowds begin to whisper.
Oh, fresh rains. It's raining. Somewhere.
Wind blows, lightning, thunder. People shout, "Rain, it's raining." Suddenly, the Brahma Rakshasa roars with laughter and melts away. Only his laughter can be heard for a few moments, reverberating, mixed with the rolling thunder. It pours. People dance with joy. They roll in the mud. Aravasu sits clutching Nithilai's body.
It's raining, Nithilai. It's raining.
The next excerpt that we're reading is from Karnad's last play, The Crossing to Talikota.
It is imperative that the Sultan stay at home and rest for at least another 2 months.
I understand.
The Sultan understands nothing. Please, at least be honest with the Honorable Hakim and don't tell lies. It's a question of your faith, of your health.
It's a wondrous medicine, but how can it be effective if we don't let it run its course?
Do you think he's even listening to you?
I need not point out that the master's health is of utmost importance. But the whole responsibility of looking after Ahmednagar rests on the shoulders of the Sultan. While I urge him to take rest, let me not say I am unaware of the gravity of his task. I've finished for the day. I shall need to have a look again tomorrow. In the meantime, if the limbs hurt, apply poultice. I take leave of you.
The carriage will come for you as usual tomorrow morning.
God be with you.
Are you hurting badly?
No news from Barid. That's worrying.
What's that? What are you mumbling?
Nothing.
You've started talking to yourself these days. Something about...
I said nothing.
The news from Vijayanagar hasn't even been confirmed, and you're itching to leave.
What do you expect me to do? Adil Shah's left for Kalyan, accompanied by a detachment under Venkatadri. That's confirmed. I know what Ramaraya's demand will be, and I must be prepared. I'm not surprised by Ramaraya. It's Adil Shah who astounds me. In front of the whole populace of Vijayanagar, he apparently fell at Ramaraya's feet and called him his father. It beggars belief.
Adil Shah was locked up by his father for years, and none of you moved a finger to help him. Now he wants someone to help him, someone who can help him. What did you expect him to do? After all, it was Ramaraya who gifted the fort of Kalyan to us. So let's not be sanctimonious. Now Adil Shah wants his turn. He's doing exactly what you did 10 years ago. Have you thought of how long you all are going to go on like this, accepting arms from Ramaraya? Today he wants Kalyan to be handed over to Bijapur. Tomorrow he'll say give it to Golconda. Then he'll say it's the turn of Bidar. And you'll wait around him, bowing, scraping, salivating.
What do you want me to do? Ramaraya will not negotiate. He insists that the fort go to Adil Shah. It's maddening. The fort of Kalyan is outside the borders of his realm. It's inside my borders. Why in the name of heaven is he meddling in my politics?
Actually, I feel sorry for his wife.
Whose wife? Ramaraya's. What's she got to do with it?
Her father built the empire of Vijayanagar. Her husband should have succeeded him to the throne. But the royal family and the courtiers wouldn't let him come near the throne because he's of a lower caste. So there's dear Ramaraya, married to the princess of Vijayanagar and denied the throne. The royal son-in-law. And yet, he is the all-powerful ruler. They can't do without, and they're not so stupid that they cannot see that what this calamity will hit them one day too. Sorry. So instead of being imperial consort, she is the low-class son-in-law's wife in her own father's imperial palace. Can you imagine anything more humiliating? It's bound to gnaw at her innards, and when something gnaws at the wife's innards, it sucks out the husband's blood too. So he's trying to claim a royal lineage for himself, the Chalukyas of Kalyan.
A bogus claim. Pure fantasy.
Everyone needs a fantasy to live by. The sultans, the people, everyone.
The Chalukya dynasty disappeared from this earth 400 years ago. There isn't even a Chalukya puppy left in the streets of Kalyan.
Our maid Khatija has in-laws working in the stables of Vijayanagar. That's a whirlpool that sucks in gossip from the world over. She says the city hates Ramaraya. They want to throw him out. The royal family is fulminating at how he is treating the heir to the throne like a chained dog. You could sound them out.
To do what? Rise against Ramaraya? Those idiot vassals have headaches of their own, and all they want is a stable power at the center. Listen, why don't you women keep to what you understand? It's not for nothing that they say a woman's brains are below her knees.
So, what are you going to do? Submit to his demands?
What do you want me to do?
Talk to the other sultans. Make them see the danger. I know that you all despise each other, but Barid Shah, Qutub Shah, surely they're not so stupid that they cannot see that this calamity will hit them too one day.
40,000 horses are sold in the market of Bidar. You know who buys them all? Most of them? Vijayanagar. They keep Barid Shah's coffers full. When Qutub Shah's brother tried to assassinate him, you know where he fled to? To Vijayanagar. He hung around in that city for 10 years. Ramaraya knows they're all beholden to him. He knows he can twist them around his fingers.
I hear that only the other day, some of Ramaraya's forces passing through the outskirts of Bidar looted markets and desecrated masjids.
The news has already reached you? I wish I could recruit some of your maids in my secret service.
Surely that desecration was not accidental. Ramaraya must have known what his ruffians were up to.
Begum, at this moment, the forces of Vijayanagar are marching on Kalyan along with Adil Shah's troops. That's a fact I've got to face. I've got to do something about it. I have only two choices: hand over the fort to Adil Shah and expose myself as a craven fool in the eyes of the other sultans, or fight and make a fool of myself.
May I suggest something? If you promise not to lose your temper.
Go ahead. What is it?
God has blessed us with 4 daughters. Chand Bibi is already the toast of the town for her looks, her brains. She's so bright, she scares me. Then Bibi Jamal. Not bright, a bit on the darker side, but she's got her eyes and nose in the right place.
And so?
Why don't we offer Chand Bibi to Adil Shah in marriage? We've had requests for her from Isfahan and Tashkent. Adil Shah will not decline. He wants the fort of Kalyan, doesn't he? Gift it to Chand Bibi as a present to her. Qutub Shah will accept Chand Bibi Jamal if she comes with the forts of Mudgal and Sholapur.
Bravo. Bravo. How brilliant. Haven't you got an iota of sense left? Adil Shah apparently spends all his time chanting and swaying in the company of Sufi mendicants. I doubt if he'll last even a few months on the throne. Qutub is a wimp, immersed in music and Telugu poetry. Why don't we just kill our daughters instead?
Our daughters will live as they are fated. Let's worry about our fate.
Continuing with crossing to Talikota.
It is a catastrophe. We've lost the battle. Our army is in shambles. Oh God, hurry up. Get all the elephants to the palace yards. Bring out all the women and children from the royal quarters. The royal dependents, the servants, the other residences, the lot. They are to leave for Pedukonda immediately.
A guard comes running in.
There's rioting going on in the city, sir. Mobs are on the rampage looting. It only took the news from Talikota to be whispered and the marketplaces began to be ransacked. It's mayhem.
They're attacking the temples. Oh God, oh God.
Who are they? Citizens? Our own people? The riffraff?
I can't see in the dark, sir, but all the gold and silver in the goldsmiths' quarters is being heaped out into the streets. Mounds of it. Gold, diamond, precious stones. They're not even killing each other for it. There's so much to grab. Jewelry, gold, silk, precious stones, heaped on the pavements.
Madam, there are soldiers at the main door. They want to be let in.
Maids rush in, followed by Satyabhama, Ramaraya's wife. Madam, they say they are from the battlefront.
What's happening?
What are we to do?
And where are the palace guards? What's all this shouting and screaming about? Disturbing the ladies' quarters at this hour? Are there no guards here?
It's bad news from the front, madam. Not just bad, terrible. Chief Tirumala Raya's in the front yard.
Brother-in-law? What's he doing here? Let him in. Let him. May God protect us from all evil. Where's he? What's he waiting for?
Tirumala Raya stumbles in, supported by a helper. A bandage covers one of his eyes, but blood can be seen trickling down his cheeks.
Brother-in-law, what you doing here? Where's the master?
Oh God, what can I say, sister-in-law? It's Pralay, end of the world. The worst calamity one could imagine. Ayyo, how can I talk about it? With what tongue?
Starts hitting himself on the forehead with his fists, weeping. More residents of the ladies' quarters rush out from inside. They are panic-stricken, seeing Tirumala Raya's state, and cling to each other, crying.
Stop breast beating! No wailing, please. Please, stop screaming. Tell us, what's happened?
The worst of fate, sister-in-law, the unthinkable.
Enough. I said enough. Tell us the worst. Where's the master?
The battle's gone badly for us. Our army's been put to rout. There's terrible bloodshed on the battlefield. It's the end of the world. And brother was swept into the chaos. Before anyone could do anything, we lost sight of him.
What do you mean? Is he all right? Tell me that. Is he safe?
We've become orphans, sister-in-law, bereft of a roof, of protection. Why, oh why am I chosen to bring you this news?
Oh, shut up! Shut up! I'll have you all whipped if you don't shut up. You are a disgrace to the royal family. But was there no one else with him, looking after him?
He was surrounded by guards, but he wouldn't listen to anyone. He rushed out on his own.
And where was brother-in-law Venkatadri? Where were you?
We were all caught in the melee. Venkatadri also vanished. Cursed am I that I have to give you these evil tidings. Cursed for the next 7 lives. Spit on me.
Perhaps the master has been taken prisoner. Then perhaps he'll be safe. After all, we have let the sultans go free in the past. We haven't harmed them. Where's Adil Shah? Yes. Have you asked him?
The Queen Mother's here.
Tirumalamba is brought in on a litter. She is nearly 100 and senile, with an ability to spark into life suddenly. The wailing goes down upon her arrival.
Who's it, Satyabhama? Is it Tirumala? When did you come, son? Where's Ramaraya?
What can I say, Amma? I wanted my tongue to rot before I uttered.
She gives him a frozen stare, unwilling to digest the shock. Then,
Hush. Hush now. In the last 50 years, my son has never stepped in here without first taking my arati and blessings. He always insists on bringing me the news of victory himself. He will come. He'll give me the news himself. Ramaraya must be waiting outside. Send him in. Satyabhama, you know how to receive your husband. Tell the maids to decorate the Chandrasala. Flowers, pearls, and the musicians. Yes, send for them. And the head priest.
she signals to the litter bearers who take her in. Satyabhama turns to go.
Sister-in-law, the news has reached the city and the populace has gone insane. They are plundering the markets. We never dreamt our own people would go haywire like this. Suddenly, it's looters and marauders on the rampage everywhere. They're even attacking the temples. Even the sacred treasures of Vijayavittala are being pillaged.
Is the palace safe?
That's it, sister-in-law. We have to vacate the palace. The ladies' quarters have to be emptied immediately.
Emptied?
Immediately. You, Amma, and all the queens and children have to leave for Penukonda. I shall arrange for the palanquins and carts.
I'm not moving anywhere. Amma is in no condition to move out. She'll insist on waiting for her son. She lives for her son. The two of us will stay here. Let the Turkas raise the palace down. I'll wait for the master and his brother. They'll come.
How can I tell you? The soldiers started fleeing headlong when they saw brother's head impaled on a spike.
Oh God! Oh mother! Are you sure? No. It can't be.
They all started deserting when they saw his, oh horror, severed head. The enemy beheaded him and exhibited his head, took it around for all to see. That's when the flight began.
I had warned him. Not once, 100 times. I told him, we're growing old. He wouldn't listen. I said, stop it. Instantly. Or I'll pull your tongues out. We are Kshatriyas. This is written on our foreheads. For 60 years, I've lived in fear of this moment. Stop keening. Rajama, lock up those hysterical women. Keep them locked up till I tell you. We have to look after Amma. We must see that we don't add to the disaster. Vengalamma, Chintamani, if you can't face your fate, go in and kill yourselves. Brother-in-law, I am not moving.
Prakash, we have 3 minutes.
The last reading that we do will be from an excerpt from Flowers, a monologue written by Girish Karnad.
The inhabitants of the courtesan's quarters are the last to be admitted. So I knew she was one of them. I was too tired to look at faces and desperate to finish the day. I mechanically took the coconut she offered, broke it, placed the prasada inside, and turned to hand it back. She was bending, holding the pallu of her sari spread out in front of her. The upper half of her bosom was uncovered, and as I dropped the shells in her sari, I saw the mole. On her right breast, just near the cleft. I looked up at her. There must have been something unusual in my movement, for she looked up too and caught my eyes. For a moment, we stared at each other, and then she turned away. I wanted her. I had never lusted for a woman before, and so felt emasculated by the sudden weakness. And yet I could not control the fire raging in my loins. During the rest of the week, I started the day impatient for a glimpse of her. Courtesans are noticed and talked about, so I discovered, without seeming too curious, that her name was Chandravati. She had just moved into a nearby town. She was believed to be wealthy. I knew the house she had rented. It was one of the most spacious there. She is a courtesan, I kept saying to myself. She is a courtesan, and so perhaps not beyond reach. But I was a poor priest and had nothing to offer her. I soon learned to search her out in the crowds and gulp in quick glimpses of her, feeling my insides cramp every time I caught sight of her. She was of average height. She was always in the company of a much older woman who, I was told, lived with her. She was always laughing, her bright teeth set off by her dusky skin. Every day, there was a quick meeting of our eyes, but she never once stayed long enough for me to register her features. So each day, as she received the prasada, I noticed the mole and as she looked up, hurriedly made note of a fresh aspect of her face. The brilliant eyes which she quickly averted, the straight nose ending in a slight upward tilt, the lips which like thick petals rimmed her smile with dark sensuousness. And then at night, I put them together as in a jigsaw puzzle. She did not come on the 6th morning, nor the 7th, and I was in agony. When the festivities on the last day were over and the temple precincts deserted, I went to the linga and pleaded. I'm stupid. I'm mad. I don't know why I'm doing this, but help me, please. Or at least forgive me. Then I cracked a coconut, tied the halves in my shoulder cloth, and left for her house. It was dark, but it took no effort to be at her door. I knocked. After a pause, the old woman opened the door. She recognized me and said in a tone of astonishment, "You and your mistress haven't been coming to the temple. Is she not well?" The old woman put a corner of her sari to her mouth and giggled behind it. And I knew I had made a fool of myself. "Woman, I have brought you the prasada," I said. To include her mistress in that offer would have been to repeat my imbecility. She took the coconut shells.
Wait, sir, please.
She said and disappeared into the interior of the house. My idiocy, the inauspiciousness of the encounter, and the ridicule I would face if anyone saw me standing on the doorstep of the house were crowding in on me when she reappeared.
My mistress would like to talk to you. Please come this way.
And led me through the cavernous house. She was sitting in a corner of the backyard on a mat spread out on the floor, her figure shadowed rather than lit by a tiny oil lamp. The light struck a glint off a silver water pot placed next to her, demarcating the boundary beyond which she could not be approached in her menstrual seclusion.
Thank you for the prasada.
Her voice declared by its clear timbre that it had been trained for singing.
I am sorry I cannot welcome you personally today. I would never have dared to invite you here, but since you have been kind enough to grace my house, may I ask a favor?
I did not reply. The only women I had known well were my mother and my wife. And I was too frightened of what I might get into if I attempted a reply here. She paused and then proceeded.
I had heard of your great skill in flower decoration. I have seen it now for myself and am overwhelmed. I can't step into the inner sanctum, and you cannot be seen in my company in public. So would you kindly spare an evening for me? Just one evening. Come here and show me how you do it.
I was silent. It surprised me that she should take my silence for acquiescence. For she went on.
I will be released from this corner in another day. Would it be brazen of me to expect you the evening after tomorrow?
I said, I'll be here. Because anything else would have been needlessly discourteous, and left.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a fantastic audience. We've loved reading to you. May I introduce the readers today? That's Priyanka Veer, Shankar Melkote, Chandana Chakrabarti, Sri Kumar, Navanita Lahiri, Anuj Gurwara, Sagarika Melkote, and B.S. Prakash.